If you've got a question, then call now. Now, thanks to Direct Line Landlord Insurance, today we're talking about rent arrears and what to do when tenants stop paying the rent. Paul Shamplina, founder of Landlord Action, is here to tell us more. So, Paul, how big is the problem of tenants not paying rent?
Well, this quarter, the first quarter of 2016, there was over 82,000 tenants in more than 2 months' rent arrears across the UK, which equates to 1.5% of tenancies in serious arrears. The most that there was ever was actually 116,000 in 2 months' rent arrears, which was in 2012. It can be a problem, but majority of landlords will never have a problem tenant. There's 1.7 million landlords out there. 98% of landlords won't ever have a problem.
And what kind of thing can landlords do then if they want to make sure they don't end up in that situation?
Well, the first thing is really, really extensive referencing. That's the most important thing right from the outset, including previous landlords reference, employers reference, credit checks, copies of bank statements, which obviously the tenants have to give consent for, so you can see the income and expenditure of the tenant that's looking to move into a property. And don't be rushed into letting your property out. It's really, really important. Good communication with the tenant to deal with possibly outstanding repair issues, deal with them quickly. If there's more than one tenant on a tenancy agreement, make sure they're all joint and severally liable, so they're all liable for the rent if there is a problem. And make sure you can get a guarantor. A guarantor in place could be a parent, an employer who's a homeowner, so they're going to be liable for the rent if there is a default.
And what should landlords do then if the worst happens and they find themselves in this situation?
Well, if you realise the tenant stopped paying the rent, you check online and the rent payment doesn't come in, try and speak to your tenant, find out the reason and work with them, do some sort of payment plan. People fall in hard times. You want to try and sustain that tenancy. But you do get tenants that will bury their head in the sand and you don't get any communication. Don't go over there and bang on the door and demand the rent and get a disease that we call landlord rage. You know, you've got to treat this as a business, be professional at all times. Remember, you know, you want that tenant in as long as possible. Last case scenario is actually taking out eviction proceedings.
Is there a type of insurance that will cover you for these sort of instances?
Well, landlords can take out a rent guarantee insurance and cover for legal expenses. So what happens is, prior to the letting, they take out a reference of a fully referenced of the tenant to see if they will pass the reference, and if they do pass the reference, then they will qualify for the insurance. And actually, this could be a peace of mind for the landlord, so their mortgage payment is going to be covered because they're going to get the rent from the from the insurance company.
And where should people go if they want more information then?
Well, landlords can go and find out about rent arrears from a landlord association, which is www.rla.org.uk, or they can visit our website, which is landlordaction.co.uk.
Thanks to Direct Line Landlord Insurance, and for more information and for the chance to win a tech bundle, go to lbc.co.uk.